What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sport Your Enthusiasm podcast. You know me, I'm your humble host, and got a full house for the recording today. As always, my man Ed Jesse on the mic there. What's going on, Ed? How you feeling?
Oh, you know, I'm all right. I'm well rested. Took a nap today.
All right, that's what's up. You was kind of dead yesterday on the recording.
Yeah, yesterday was tough.
We're good, though. We back. And we got two special guests in the house today. To my left right now, I have my man Hassan Green, a.k.a. our resident Black Batman.
Okay. You forgot about the King of Wakanda.
Oh, yeah, and then also the King of Wakanda. He's definitely the Black Panther.
Damn straight.
What's going on, son? How you feeling, man?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday night. You know, it's great evening. It's cold as hell outside.
Yeah,
but,
you ain't
That's
lying.
what you get around here. So,
and then, of course, we have one of the resident MMA fighters representing the Spicy Meatball. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
I'm Anthony Gugino. 2-0 fighter. Feeling pretty
2-0.
good.
Undefeated.
That's what's up, my man.
right.
What's going on, man? How you feeling today, though?
Pretty good. Got a bunch of training in today, a little bit of sore, took a little bit of sparring action, so, and then went out to another gym, sparred today, got an open roll, some jiu-jitsu, and felt great, but, man, I'm the most happy thing I'm about. I got a full belly today.
There it is. That's what's up. Yo, man, we got a full house. This is the first time, a SYE first time, man. First time I have 4 people on the recording, so it's going to be a little bit different, but it feels nice. But on today's show, we're going to discuss the Super Bowl that happened on Sunday. Give our thoughts and opinion on that one. I already kind of gave my thoughts on the last episode, so we'll dive into more with that. And, we got to talk some UFC. We got a MMA fighter in here, so we got to get his thoughts and opinions on it. So talk a little bit of UFC with my man Anthony. And he got a fight coming up as well, so give us some details on that. And then I also want to maybe dive in a little bit of boxing as well. Hassan, one of the people that I know is I like to say an expert at the sport of boxing.
You're being a little generous. You could say connoisseur.
Connoisseur, I like that.
I got moderate knowledge,
okay,
to say the least.
I like that. So yeah, we're gonna dive into that. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm fucking up.
You done had a couple.
I might have had a couple.
Okay.
So past Sunday here we had the Super Bowl. What number was it? Super Bowl
53.
53.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 53.
Yeah.
Patriots and Rams. I don't know about y'all. To me, that was the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Yeah, what was y'all thoughts on this past Super Bowl?
It was probably one of the worst football games I had ever seen. It was just downright ugly. Let me just say, I have a number of ex-girlfriends in my history. I mean, they're great football fans.
Player.
And I said history. Okay, not current. All right, don't quote me yet. I mean, I got aspirations, but these are past ex-girlfriends. All right. Sports fans, they love the sports, love football, obviously local girls, love the Bills and all that stuff. Our breakups were ugly, all right? So they don't think too kindly of me, but let me just say, I got ex-girlfriends, football fans, that would have rather looked at me than watched that game. That's how ugly that game was, all right? Oh, man, just,
Yeah, that game was tough. That was tough to watch.
It was.
What's your thoughts on that?
I love the game.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why people are hating on it so bad. Maybe because they didn't get to see offense. But quite frankly, I love the fact that the unspoken people, the defenders, actually stepped up. It's kind of shitty that the defensive players that created such a monstrosity in the middle of the field did not get an MVP. But, it is what it is. Stephon Gilmore, that was my pick for MVP.
Okay.
And I was happy with the fact that there was such great defense. Both quarterbacks looked like they were rattled. Both quarterbacks couldn't really do anything. The Rams got the first sack on Brady in the entire postseason. They did their job. James White was limited to 1 catch. The backfield was completely irrelevant as far as the pass game goes. They just kept getting caught in the middle, wide open, Julian Edelman and Gronk. So outside of that, and the Rams faking a Todd Gurley healthy, injured. I don't know what the hell was going on there.
Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit.
Quite frankly, I was happy with the game though. It seemed like everyone, there was a stone wall at the 40-yard line for both sides, and they just would not let people go past that. And I was fascinated by defense.
Anthony?
You know what? I like defense. I love it. I played it. I think the game was great in a defensive fashion. I wish I would have seen a little bit more scoring. Not that I thought it was a horrible game, because defense looked great. They were tight, like I said, holding the 40-yard line, stonewalling everybody. But with that said, I would have liked to see maybe like a 21-17 game, 24-21, a little bit more excitement. Yeah. And then also Todd Gurley. What's going on there? I mean...
Yeah, that Todd Gurley shit was weird.
Yeah, I mean, you're throwing C.J. Anderson in there, and then he's coming out at like what was it, the beginning of the first half, where he came out, he had a couple good runs, you know? And then what were you doing with him the rest of the game? You should have been pounding that man the rock like AP. Who cares if he gets 2-3 yards? He's going to bust out another one. You know what I mean? He's going to bust out a 20-yard run. Even if a couple drives, all right, well, we got stonewalled. We only got 9 yards on this drive and 9 yards on another drive. All right, at least if he busts out two 20-yard runs on one drive, that's your longest drive of the whole freaking game.
I hear you. All right. So, I like defensive football just as much as anybody. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. That's literally what I was brought up on, was defense. I watched some of the greatest defenses perform. Yep. Now, here's my thing. The Super Bowl wasn't necessarily boring because it was a defensive showing between two teams. It was boring because there was literally no exciting plays throughout that whole game that I could see. Even with the interceptions, because there's, we've seen 2 interceptions, one by Brady, one by Goff. Even those interceptions was just like not jump out of your seat interceptions, not splash plays. I don't know. It didn't bring enough excitement to the game. Like, I was literally watching that game and caught myself falling asleep watching it. Now, credit to both defensive coordinators. They had a hell of a game plan. And it was pretty much, whoever scores the first touchdown won, which pretty much what happened with New England. So kudos to both defensive coordinators, kudos to both defenses. They both held up and played very, very well. But I do not want that as my Super Bowl. I don't want that as my Super Bowl game. If you give me that game on like week 1 of an NFL season, okay, cool. I can accept that. I'm sort of like you, Anthony, where I wanted it to be, okay, you want to give me a defensive battle, fine. Give me a little bit more scoring. Give me a little bit more exciting. Let me get a fucking 14-17 game. Like a couple of years ago, we seen a great defensive battle with Denver and Carolina, where it wasn't a lot of scoring going on, but there was a lot of exciting plays. Von Miller strip sacks. Cam Newton completing the pass down the sideline, getting them to the goal line. Yeah. And, there's a lot of exciting plays that can get you out your seat and give you something to cheer for.
Speaking of like Patriots in the Super Bowl, for example, still to this day is my favorite football game of all time was Super Bowl 42. And that was supposed to be the undefeated year for the Patriots. And they went up against the Giants.
Yeah. That's one of my all-time favorites too.
What's funny is that nobody was really talking about the Giants defense. At least that year, and I want to say also in the postseason, because truth be told, I was rooting for the Packers. I think that year, I think that was Brett Favre's last year in Green Bay, and the Packers got to the NFC Championship game against the Giants. Giants went in the Lambeau. In fact, that was Michael Strahan's last year too, and
right.
I mean, he led the defense, and they got past the Packers, they got to the Super Bowl, and people were still writing off the Giants,
right?
But the point I'm trying to make is that game ended, I think it was 21-17. It was a defensive battle. I mean,
right.
for the Patriots, you had Richard Seymour was on the line. Rodney Harrison was still back in safety. In fact, because he was one of the dudes in the David Tyree catch.
Right. Yeah. He's the main guy.
They had what was that cornerback's name? I think it was
Vrabel,
I think Mike Vrabel. Too. Yeah, Vrabel was still a linebacker. Ellis Hobbs, I think, was at cornerback. Patrick Chung, I think, was at cornerback too.
No, I don't think Chung was there yet.
Not yet?
Nah, not
okay,
yet.
Okay. But still, I mean, their defense obviously was...
Yeah, their defense was solid.
They were solid on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they fucking went undefeated.
And I think, and I want to say, because Randy Moss was on offense, was catching passes. I want to say Brady got sacked like 3 or 4 times.
Brady was getting fucked up that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Giants got out of his ass on that one.
That was a defensive battle, in my opinion. But obviously, it was somewhat low scoring, and it was just, that small margin of error, 21-17. Giants pulled it off. That was what I was kind of hoping for, like in this past Super Bowl. I mean, the score was run up last year, Eagles versus Patriots.
Last year's Super Bowl was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was
the first one
flashy.
First one to get a stop, and that's what happened. This one here was first one to score,
and
touchdown.
Like the rest of us. I mean, I could appreciate a good defense. It was just kind of like, give me some more plays,
right? Give me something. Give me something to be excited about. Yeah. Give me something that I can jump out of my seat and clap.
Right.
Exactly. I didn't get that. I didn't get this from this game.
Yeah, like that interception in the first quarter by the Rams. I mean, that was a deflected interception. It wasn't even just a straight pick necessarily. But I remember I was sitting down in a chair and I just clapped my hands. I was just like, all right, cool. And that's kind of how it went the rest of the game.
Hey man, that Gilmore pick was nice though.
It was.
Gilmore pick was nice.
I was a little salty about that because I was like, you could have done that in Buffalo, man. Or you could have did that more often in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's how I felt.
That's the Patriot way, though, man. They take Buffalo players, they become champions.
Yeah, right. And in some cases, we get what they throw away, and it's like it doesn't work out no more. Lawyer Malloy is a name that comes to mind. I'm going back.
What's up with that Todd Gurley situation, man? What are the Rams hiding?
I have no idea. I know a lot of bettors are pissed because if he should have sat, that would have swung a lot of money. That's a difficult situation. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if he just psyched himself out. I don't know if that knee injury was a lot worse than they presumed. I'm not sure. He hurt his knee like week 15, I think. Okay. And then they sat him for a while. They had the bye week.
Yeah, he sat like 3 games or 3 weeks.
But then he came back and in that first game they had and just didn't look right. Mm-hmm. That was the game C.J. Anderson got off.
Yeah.
Then the next game he didn't look right. In the Saints game, I think he only had like 2
or 3 carries.
Yeah,
he had a touchdown. Yeah. The divisional round, he had a good game. He had over 100 yards rushing and a touch. But like you said, he didn't look like Todd Gurley.
Yeah, and then he had another week before the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and then he didn't look right there, but he was like dropping balls. He was missing assignments in the pass blocking game. So I'm not sure what was going on there. Maybe it was just the bright lights. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it was that was affecting him there.
I don't know. I think his knee got to his head. You know what I mean? Like same thing with any kind of sport. You know what I mean? Like you get an injury and then you get a tweak and then look at Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I was just thinking Derrick Rose.
Like you look at his knee injury. He's never been the same player ever again. You know.
Yeah, very fair point.
And maybe he had a little deeper injury that none of us are going to know about until maybe about draft time this year, and then he's getting a scope or he's getting a little bit of ligament repair or something in the offseason that we don't know about, and it was playing more of a mind factor. Right. I don't think it was the bright lights. He plays out in L.A. They got superstars out there watching him every single game. Yeah, you know what I mean? And especially you're playing games that in the NFL, you got bright lights everywhere. And then also, too, when you're going in and you're MVP caliber this year, last year, they're watching you like crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't think the lights got to him. I think something with that knee is being hidden. But hey, well, we're not in the camp. We're not on the team, so we'll probably never know true story. Right. But I got a feeling something a little bit more in depth. Which you look at the injury reports. You know, they're all, every team's hiding something. Yeah.
I think that's ultimately what it is. I think that the injury. I think he was still hurt. Like he might have had like a